Hi, hope you are doing well. In the last part, we saw that the bloodshed had begun. Every soldier experienced a living nightmare as they engaged in close combat with the enemy forces. Their eyes were bloodshot as mountains of corpses piled up on the ground. The atmosphere was deafening. Sounds of horses, hooves, screams, cries of agony, cursing, shouts to kill together. They composed a whole new tune. As the swords clashed, sparks flew in the air. The wounded did not scream as the battlefield caused their senses of pain to be numbed. The ground was a messy sight. As the snow last night had melted, a river of red started to form. Swords were broken, sparks were snapped, eyes were glued shut by the blood stain, causing soldiers to lose their sense of orientation. Despite this, they only thought of one thing: to kill. To kill everyone in their way, to slash at everyone until every last bit of strength was used up. The young lady's words before they departed echoed in the warriors' ears once again. The soldier that allows their formation to be braced with become a sinner of the Shiuli army. Hence, even with no weapons, they leaped onto the enemy, ripping apart their necks with their mouths. Even with no horses, they held on to the enemy's horses by their legs, dragging them down. The battle was intense, sending chills up the people's spine. Hexiao removed his body armor, which proved cumbersome. His eyes were bloodshot as they scanned for his next target. The Uitrops were scared off by her fearless looks, retreating and scampering out of his sight. The ability of the Shiuli army to engage in one-to-one combat was unrivaled. The soldiers stood there resolutely like machines that were indefatigable. Despite having an arm and a leg wounded, they were still able to carry on fighting and killing the enemy. The Uitrops were shocked. They were not human. Yes, they were no longer human. They were a group of lunatics, a group of devils. Princess Young-er gritted his teeth in anger. It had been like this every time. He did not understand the supernatural powers that woman seemingly possessed to make the soldier pleased their undying loyalty to her. Having an army of this caliber was every general's dream. No amount of money, power, or threats could be exchanged for this. However, she seemed to be able to achieve this with minimal effort. The wire drums echoed out beat by beat as army after army dashed towards the bloody battlefield. The Ui officials were perplexed. Even if the walls on the opposite side were made of steel, they would have made a hole in it by now. Why did the defensive line at the opposite side not collapse, despite appearing like that could happen anytime? 3 front-line heavy cavalry squads had been whipped out, along with 5 battalions. Mountains of corpses piled up 3 feet higher in front of defense line, forming a low wall in front of them. From dawn till noon, the battle had shown no sign of subsiding. The defense line which appeared weak in the earlier parts of the battle, slowly became more and more resolved. Yuan Yang knew that it was his troops that had become timid. Faced with the suicidal assault, he felt his templates acupoint throbbing. The sky was overcast. The sun was slowly swallowed up by the dark clouds, seemingly not wanting to witness this massacre any further. Yuan Yang thought to himself, "Is this a ploy by Yanbei, sending their elite force to drive his attention away from the pass, then destroy his heavy cavalry forces? If this was the case, why did they not send reinforcements from inside the pass yet?" Yuan Yang could not comprehend this situation as his troops slowly started to lose the willpower to fight on. Faced with the Shiuli army, who were unbelievably determined, Yuan Yang started to fear for the worst. Even if he won this battlefield, what would he get? 5,000 corpses from the Shiuli army? This was not going to be an easy battle. The thought of killing Chu Xiao, the chief threat of Yanbei's force, did not appear so intriguing to him anymore. As the last remains of sunlight faded away, the signal to retreat was issued by the Wei army. The Wei troops cheered and then faded away like the receding tides. The troops of the Shiuli army no longer had any strength to pursue them. As soon as the Wei troops departed, they collapsed to the ground, every bite of strength in their bodies used up. When Prince Yuan Yang saw this, he turned around decisively and ordered the messenger to reissue the signal to charge. With his back facing the Wei troops, he shouted loudly, "Soldiers, charge!" The Wei troops turned around in a panicked state, only to see that the fortified defense line was no longer there. Some soldiers who were brighter understood the situation at that moment. The Shiuli army, outnumbered by over 20 soldiers to 1, had reached their limits. At this moment, as the Wei troops retreated, they finally collapsed. Hence, the Wei army turned around and charged forward with Yuan Yang leading the line. The Shiuli army was about to defeat, and what was going to happen to Chu Xiao? Who will be the savior for the Chu Xiao? Is there anything going to be happened? We are going to see something new. Please wait for the next part. Thank you staying with me. Subscribe and like the video to support me. Thank you very much.